Hi, it's tutorial time again. I posted a question on the CRC website and asked if anybody would be interested in a little tutorial on taking pictures and producing a finished photographic project of their rings. And I got really favorable response, so I decided I would go ahead and do this. So this is a video that's going to talk briefly about how to take decent pictures of your rings, and most importantly, and really the key to getting a great final product, post-production. Think of it in these terms. When film was the king of photography, you would take your picture and you'd have to have it processed. You didn't have anything until it was processed. Well, it really hasn't changed. You still need to process your photos. It's just that now, after they're taken digitally, we process them in a computer. Now, I'm going to be working on a Mac laptop with my subscription to Lightroom. I use the online subscription service from Adobe, and I'm going to be processing them in Lightroom. But almost any computer with almost any photo handling software will enable you to do the things that I'm doing. You may have to translate some of the things that I'm doing into the software you're using, but let's say let's say you're using a Mac and you don't have Lightroom, and you're just using iPhoto. iPhoto will do most of this stuff. Photoshop will do most of this stuff. There are a lot of free online apps that will do most of this stuff. So I'm not going to be able to go over every single app. I'm going to go over the process that I do, the things that I do to the pictures, and give you that groundwork, and then it's up to you to take it from there. And of course, if you have any questions, you can feel free to post them on CRC Facebook page and ask me, and I'll do my best to try and help you out. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Most of you are probably taking your photographs with your phones. That seems to be the thing of the day. So get your phone out and open up your photo app, and here's your camera. Now, the first thing you want to do is, if you have this feature, turn on HDR. HDR is a really valuable tool, and what it's doing is it's taking more than one exposure and doing them differently so you get different highlights. Here you see two of the exact same photo. One is with HDR on and one is with HDR off, and this is going to give you a lot of very good choices. So make sure you turn HDR on. Then the next thing you want to do is also make sure that the flash is off. Not on auto. Turn the flash off. Use natural lighting. It's usually much better. Finally, if you're using an Apple phone, turn off live photos. It degrades your pictures, so turn them off. Finally, in your camera, use the zoom setting if you have an optical zoom, but don't use the pinch and zoom. That's a digital zoom. You don't want to use that. Only use zoom if you really have it, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. Anyhow, a simple background is usually the best. Here you see my ring just sitting on a piece of black craft paper, and I'm using natural lighting right in my kitchen. And by lining up my picture, getting a nice close shot, I tap on the screen to adjust my focus point. Once I have a picture that looks like it's going to be good, I of course snap the picture. Take several pictures of your rings. Don't just take one and think you've got it. You might have a great pose, but it may not be perfectly focused. Change things up, move around, get different angles of your ring, try different kind of light sources, and take a lot of pictures. The more you have to work with, the better off your final result will be. As I mentioned, don't use the pinch and zoom feature on your camera on your iPhones, because all that is digital. It's math making the picture bigger, and it gives you a degraded quality. If you don't have a zoom lens, you can buy one that clips on your camera. Usually a company made called Clip will make them, but there's a zillion out there. Once you're done taking all your pictures, before you take everything down and put it all away, look at the pictures and make sure you have something you think you're going to be able to work with. Scroll through them all, look at the poses, look at the focus, and make sure that you're happy with the results. If you're not, shoot them over again. There are a lot of great things to help you take good pictures. Here is a picture of a light box that I have, and it works fabulously. And also a nice little tripod for your phone, and as you can see here, a clip-on lens. Now that we have pictures, I'm going to select and drag them to my Lightroom application. The application will open, and it will allow me to import the photos into my library. Once the photos have imported, I'll pick the one that I want to work with. I'll select it, and now I'll go over to develop it. The photo will open, and now I'll go over to the Tools panel over to the right, and I'll start processing my photo. I always begin by opening up the shadows, which allows me to see more detail in the photo. I then turn down the highlights to give the picture a little more pop. Now in Lightroom, if I hold down my Option key while I work the white and black sliders, it will show me what's happening. And I want to have essentially no complete white and some complete black in my photo. And you can see already the picture is really starting to look really fantastic. I generally will turn the presence up 1 or 2 degrees, not a lot. It just gives it a little more pop. I always sharpen the heck out of my photos, probably in the range of 70 to 80%. I turn down the luminance noise reduction to about 20% and the color noise reduction about 50%. I remove chromatic aberrations, and I enable profile corrections, and then I put a dark vignette around the entire picture. This draws your eyes right into the subject of your photo. Here's a before and after. I think you can clearly see the one on the right is much better. Here I'm going to do another ring that I took outdoors, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what the different sliders do. As I said, the shadow slider basically will open up the shadows in a picture and allow you to see detail that you might miss otherwise. Highlights gives the photo a little bit more depth, so I always turn those down. Now on your white balance, a good photo has spots of complete black and complete white. So we want to be just right at the edge of complete white, and we want to have some areas of complete black in our photo. Sharpening is key. It definitely makes your picture crisp and clean, but it also can increase the noise level, so you'll always have to adjust noise. The vignetting, the dark vignetting always helps and makes the picture really special. People don't know why it's so great, but they love it, and it draws their eyes into the picture. Again, you can see the before and after. While I work on this photo, let me explain the things about the noise reduction. The luminance slider is one that will deal with almost all of the picture noise. That's that granular, rough texture look that you can get in a photograph. And it does that by essentially blurring things together. Now, the problem with that is it can make your picture look a little soft. And so we generally don't want to use that one too much, and we want to be very judicious with it. Sometimes changing the amount that you open up your shadows can reduce noise. So we're always going to want to soften the picture a little bit with the luminance noise slider. The color noise slider is noise that is found in the darkest parts of the picture, and that one you can really let it have it. So I almost always am shooting around 50%. One final thing that you can do with your pictures is you can put a small area in your pictures with a highlight. This just helps draw the eye in and give the picture some depth. Most people won't understand why the picture looks the way it does because it's not very perceptive, but when they see it, they're just going to know that something special is going on. So you can simply drag a circle here, increase the exposure to brighten the area, and put it wherever you choose to have it in your picture. This is a way to really give your picture some visual interest. I understand that this was a very fast and furious tutorial on photos, but the key elements are: have a good natural lighting source and keep your backdrops simple. They don't need to be super elaborate. You know, they can be more than just a one-dimensional thing. They can be a prop, but don't let them take the emphasis away from the subject, which is your ring. Have a great natural lighting source. Uh, Open the windows, step outside, do whatever you need to do, but have a great natural lighting source. Flashes really drown things out. If you are going to use an artificial lighting source, get yourself a small tent. The one that I showed you in the video was like $50 on Amazon. You set up a couple floodlights on the outside of it. It gives your ring complete bright coverage. You could set down some kind of a decorative base, and you can take your pictures, and you're going to get great, consistent results that way. Um, Next, no matter what application you choose to use, edit your pictures. Crop them, resize them, sharpen them, adjust the shadows and the contrast. And there's going to be a ton of tools that you probably don't need to use for this. Learn the ones that you do, the ones that I spoke about. If you just master those couple tools, you're going to get great pictures that are really going to emphasize the effort and the work that you put into your rings. So learn about those. And they may be different. They may have a slightly different name depending on the software that you use. It's going to be up to you to figure it out because I can't clearly in a short video like this go through every possibility. This is just supposed to give you an idea of what you can do and how easy it can be. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to have great results. Again, I know this was fast, down, and dirty. If you have any questions, you can post them in the CRC website, and I'll try my best to answer them. I hope this did a little bit of something for you, and I hope your pictures come out great. All right, keep ringing.